Well, my brother was 17, and he was going to have to enlist in the Army when he turned 18. So that's one of the reasons. And the other reason was my dad always wanted to go to Canada. He had a friend, Mr. Short. They sponsored my brother, and then they found sponsors for us to come as a family.
My dad had a trucking outfit, and there was no future in it anymore. He always wanted to go to Canada, and my uncle was in Sumas, and they sponsored it.
My second oldest brother came here with his wife and his son in 1948. And then three of my other brothers came in 1949, and they prepared a home for my mom and dad. And so we came to that house in Matsqueen. It's still there.
Our family emigrated because there was no hope for my parents to stay there. And my father wanted to have an agriculture business, and there he had no choice but to emigrate. So that's how come we landed up here.
We came from Amsterdam, and this is farm country. My dad was not a farmer, and someone asked, what are you doing in Canada? And he says, I want to work. So at first he stayed with a berry farmer, and then he worked for a while in Mission at a mill, and he biked there from Huntington to Mission.
My dad, when he came here, he was, I think he first picked berries, if I'm not mistaken, or worked in the fields or something like that, but later.
The first year,
yeah. I was young enough not to really care, that I cared, but I don't really remember exactly what he did. But later on, he was managing a farm and did 50-50.
Gateway here, of course. We started here, like I say, a month after the church was organized, so we were a part of it in the very beginning of this congregation here. And we've seen an awful lot of changes because when we started at the building here on the grounds here, well, it got too small. Then they built that one on McCallum Road. Then they said it's way too big, and we said, no, it's not too big. So the Lord has blessed us in many ways in this congregation, and it all went smoothly.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
You know, the change over from First Church, Second Church, Trinity Church, it all went in a very smooth order. That's a blessing too.
We went to church in Sumas, Washington for a while. Well, all the immigrants went there the first 2 or 3 years. There was more immigrants coming, and they were all concentrated more or less in the valley, so that's why they started a church there.
Yeah, he was part of the church and the school, just like her dad.
My mom and dad would be so surprised how big the church is now with all the people. It's amazing. Most of this I learned as an adult because I was younger then, and you just went along, you just start going to church, but you learn later that how God was provided for them in all emergencies, with a lot of prayer and a lot of faith. Because my mom too, in the war, in the hunger winter, she prayed one night for if they could get a loaf of bread. And in the morning, there was a coupon under the door for one. She says, even if it's one slice of bread, and it was for a loaf of bread. So they trusted God in everything.
First of all, because we can go to church without any hindrances, and our faithfulness, we have a terrific church family as far as we're concerned. It's amazing how our church has changed over the years, which I understand, and I think it's great, because it can't stay an old fogey church, because we wouldn't have any youth. And if you know what our youth is like in our church, it's bubbling over. And there's nothing more wonderful than for both of us to see these young kids go up front and have a beautiful testimony. When I did my confession of faith, I think I was 16, and we had to go to catechism and go through all these questions, and I do. And that was it. Now these kids have such beautiful testimonies. It just touches my heart, and I just think that's so wonderful. I love the Lord too, but I didn't dare speak up about it like kids do now. I have no problem doing that now, but not as little kids.
I'm now thankful that my parents brought us this far, and Alice and me, we got married in this church. We got our children baptized in this church. So we've been part of the church for many years. And we want to thank the Lord for that, and the Lord has blessed us in many ways. I want to thank you for that.